And like Bettie, Sylvia strives to preserve dignity and respect for those living with HIV and AIDS, a remarkable trait I saw firsthand having worked with her at ASA. It is our honor and my privilege to recognize Sylvia with the Bettie Naylor Award.
Good evening, good people. I'm honored to be with you, and I have to say, wow, teleprompters, geez. I still have a flip phone. That's how far along I am. so nothing in the teleprompter for me. I am humbled to be here, and I humbly received the Bettie Naylor Award. Our world is a better place because she committed her time, her talents, and her passion to the fight for LGBTQ rights and for women's equality. From all accounts, Bettie Naylor and I would literally be eye to eye because of our similar height and because of the values that we share. She said, and I quote, "We are all here to help each other, and that means we have to take responsibility." And that's what I'm taking away for my evening this night with all of you. In other words, it takes a village, a committed community, and I would add, it takes an intersectional village. And when I look back over 30 years, wow, I started really young. When I look back over 30 years, I see the people who paved the way for me, who walked alongside me, who have and who will surpass me. My journey has been equal parts inspiration, determination, and transformation. It began in late 1985 when I became one member of a trio of friends caring for Tim. He had been diagnosed with AIDS. Tim was a medic, a sergeant in the US Air Force. He proudly served our country. Tim lived in the closet, except to his closest friends. When Tim's uniform came out of the closet, he went in. In the last weeks of his life, he said, "I should get away from my abusive husband, and I should go live in his room at our friend's home," because he was very tired now, and it hurt, and he would not be going home. When he died in 1988, I did just that. I just left with my dog and my cat. Tim paved the way for me, and in an act of defiance, I sewed his uniform to a panel, and it now rests on the Names Project quilt. Because at the time, that was not a cool thing to do, but I didn't care. Tim paved the way for me. And by that time, I was working as an HIV test counselor at the health department. I was a volunteer because they were unable to hire anyone for that position. And there I met Paul Clover, the founder of Waterloo Counseling Center and AIDS Services of Austin. He became a mentor, He became a friend, and I knew what the next step in my journey would be. I started as a volunteer, and I joined the staff at AIDS Services of Austin, the 11th person, in March of 1989. I had reached the destination for the work I was meant to do, and I'm still there. And I watch Paul Clover every day because we have a photo. I have a photo of him and I taken in 1989 on my desk. Had he lived, Paul would be 67 today. In 1990, I met Mary Moreno, mi querida comadre, my dear friend, a mother of 5 who was diagnosed with HIV in 1987. She came to ASA for educational counseling on maintaining her health, and that was the work that I did. In 1995, we co-founded the Women Rising Project, a program for women living with HIV to find connection, HIV education, peer leadership, an advocacy base, and support to reclaim and start their lives anew. Mary was the spark, the inspiration that ignited the idea for the project. And ASA was the incubator. And to this day, remains the vehicle for the Women Rising Project to continue to do its work, to address the crippling isolation that comes from stigma, indifference, marginalization, and racism. And I think all of us in this room know what that feels like. And that's why we're here, and that's why HRC deserves and has earned our support. So Bettie Naylor preceded me in a generation, and recently I found myself in conversation with a member of the Women Rising Project Advisory Board. She learned of her status, her HIV status, in her early 30s, and she's now entering graduate school at the University of Texas School of Social Work. She is a vibrant young woman, a Black woman, a woman who has become an advocate in her own right. Her world in Texas is better, not the best, because there is still much work to do, as we have seen tonight, but better, because we pave the way for transformation to a healthier life, to a dream realized, a world in which people can live life authentically, a world where we are judged, as Martin Luther King said, not where we are judged by the content of our character, and a world that Bettie Naylor envisioned, where we are all here to help each other. Thank you so much.